Obviously, you hear a very enthusiastic crowd finally seeing their governor, Rick Scott, exhibiting some enthusiasm of his own, the thumbs up, a fist pump there.
Good evening. I just want to take this opportunity to thank my wife and my family for their continued support. I want to thank our 11,000 volunteers who made this happen. And most importantly, I want to thank Governor Rick Scott. Ladies and gentlemen, the governor of the state of Florida, Rick Scott.
I just received a call from Charlie Crist. He was very gracious. I have two great pieces of news for the people of Florida. First, I'm not going to give a long speech. And second, the campaign is over. So you know what they say about democracy? It's messy, but it's absolutely the best form of government there is. Tomorrow, however, marks a new day. It's time to put all the division behind us and come together. Forget about all the partisanship. Florida is on a mission. And that mission is to keep growing and to become the very best place in the world to get a job, to raise a family, and live the American dream. So we have made great strides in the last 4 years, but we cannot rest on our laurels. Now is the time to charge boldly ahead. Texas likes to brag about being #1 in job creation. But we are on their heels, and we will become #1. Now, our victory tonight is thanks to the hard work and steadfast diligence of far too many people to thank. I could go on, and I can look around this room, and every one of you was part of this major victory. This victory is for each of our families. So I do have to thank a few, however, and it has to start with my wonderful wife, Ann. We have been married for 42 years. We got married when we were 19, and we have lived the dream of America. And we are a team. I also want to thank my daughters, Allison and Jordan, and their husbands, Pierre and Jeremy. They have stood by me through all the challenges I put them through. Of course, I can't forget about my mom. She's passed away, but we wouldn't be here without my mom. I want to thank her for everything, but I won't talk a lot because I'd probably get too emotional. So, now I had a tremendous staff. Melissa Sellers. Jackie Schutz. Tim Saylor. Chris Finkbeiner. Justin Johnson at the RPUF. Party Chairman Leslie Dewar. And my wonderful Lieutenant Governor, Carlos Lopez Cantera, is wonderful. I could not have picked a better Lieutenant Governor. He has been a great partner and will continue to be a great partner. Many of our fellow governors have also been helpful. Chris Christie, Rick Perry, Bobby Jindal, just to name a few. And I can't forget Senator Marco Rubio and, of course, Jeb Bush. Now, most important in this race is all of our volunteers and all of our supporters. None of this wouldn't happen but for all of you here and the probably 11,000 volunteers across our state that worked tirelessly up to 8 o'clock tonight just to make sure everybody showed up and voted. So let's give a big round of applause to all of them. I'm sorry that I can't go on, but I have many more people that I will thank individually. Let me close by simply saying, I can tell you all this. I will not let up. We will become number one. We have made unbelievable progress in the last 4 years. 651,000 jobs. What we've done in education, a lot of great things. 268,000 job openings. But our work is not done until every family like the one I grew up in that struggled to make ends meet can get a great job, raise a family, and have this shot at the dream of America that everybody should have, whatever country you come from, whatever family, whatever zip code. You're here to get the dream of America in the great state of Florida. I want to thank everybody here. I want to thank everybody that's watching. I want to thank everybody that was part of this campaign. I want God to bless all of us, our great state, and let's keep working.
There you hear, guys, Governor Rick Scott offering up his victory speech to a very enthusiastic crowd of supporters. Earlier this evening, we heard that there were 700 to 800 people anticipated at this event. You heard the governor talk about the fact that Charlie Crist has conceded defeat in this race. He called the former governor very gracious. He also spoke very candidly about thanking his supporters, his staff members, and also had a very touching moment where he said none of this would be possible without his mom, who has passed away. He got a little bit emotional talking about that. He also talked about the brass tacks, the hard business he has ahead. He said at the very start of this speech that democracy is messy, but it is the best form of government out there. Guys, you've heard this. I know Dr. McManus, our political analyst, is standing by with you now, so you all can break down exactly what this means, what this victory means, and what this victory speech signals to the state of Florida.
Thanks, Jen. In fact, we have been sitting here talking about so much of this. Not only a big night for Republicans in the state of Florida, this is a big night for the GOP across the country tonight. Lauren?
I got a text from a Democrat earlier who just said bloodbath. So Democrats not feeling so great tonight.
Well, you know, just to comment on Rick Scott and what he, you know, we've watched him over the past 4 years. When he came on the scene the first time around, the guy came across somewhat jittery. He didn't seem self-assured, frankly, just from observation. I think watching him tonight, he looked like a man who's been in office and who fought the good fight. He looked more confident. It was a short speech, but he said quite a bit in that speech. And the two things I think, one, not a long speech, and the second part, the campaign season is over.
That means a lot to
And
folks.
man, everybody's happy with that. But I mean, he's a different Rick Scott today than he was when we saw him 4 years ago.
And that's what going on a campaign trail will do for you. We see it in presidential candidates that start out and then they get stronger as they go. They get more at ease. Their speaking skills get better. They're more direct with the camera. Everything.
And he specifically talked about things that he is going to do now, which means tomorrow the work starts.
Let's go to Charlie.